Most people think the strangest thing about Greystone, Nevada, is that it's only 40 miles from Area 51. But the truth is far stranger than anything you've ever heard. It starts with children, quiet, brilliant, and a little too perfect. They looked like any other kids. But there was always something off. No one knew where they came from. No birth records. No adoption papers. And somehow, they all ended up in the same small town, attending the same school. In 1992, Dr. Emily Voss, a government biologist, was assigned to a classified operation called Project Echo. Her orders were simple: study neurological patterns in gifted children. But when she arrived at Greystone Elementary, she realized something was deeply wrong. These weren't just smart kids, they were something else entirely. One child, Daniel M., could solve complex mathematical equations in seconds. Another, a girl named Lila, could memorize entire books after glancing at the pages once. Emily found that their brains functioned on frequencies she had never seen before, almost like they were tuned to something beyond human understanding. She reported this, thinking she'd be praised. Instead, she was warned. A man in a dark suit appeared at her apartment that night. No badge, no name. Just a message: keep quiet. You're not cleared to ask questions. But Emily couldn't stop. She noticed something even stranger. The kids didn't dream, at least, not in the normal sense. Brain scans showed bursts of energy during REM sleep that matched signals detected from deep space. When Emily brought this up to her superiors, her access to the children was immediately revoked. She tried to quit, but they wouldn't let her. They reassigned her to a different department, gave her a raise, and made her sign a new non-disclosure agreement. That's when she realized she was being watched. It wasn't paranoia. Her phone would click at odd moments. Her mail arrived opened. And sometimes when she walked to her car at night, she'd hear footsteps, always just out of sight. Then one night, a package showed up at her door. No return address. Inside was a VHS tape labeled only, "They're not from here." The footage showed a hidden lab beneath the school, rows of large glass tanks filled with a glowing blue liquid. Floating inside were fetuses, part human, part something else. Something alien. Emily panicked. She destroyed the tape, but not before making a copy. She knew she had to get out of Nevada. Before she could leave, she was detained by military police. She was told she had violated national security laws. But instead of being arrested, she was sedated and flown to a secret facility. When she woke up, she was in a white room with no windows. A man in a military uniform stood over her and asked just one question: "Who else have you told?" She stayed silent. For weeks, they kept her there, drugged, questioned, observed. She began to lose track of time. Then, just as suddenly as she had been taken, she was released. No charges. No explanation. Her bank account was full, her home untouched, but the file on her government clearance had been erased. It was as if she never existed. Years passed, and Emily tried to rebuild her life. But she never forgot what she saw. Then in 2007, a news story caught her eye. A student from Greystone, now 16 years old, had disappeared. His name was Daniel M., the same child she once studied. The strange thing? No missing persons report had been filed. The school said he had transferred. The parents declined interviews. Emily knew that was a lie. She began investigating quietly, contacting old colleagues who had also worked on Project Echo. Most refused to speak. One even pretended not to recognize her. Only one, Dr. Felix Grant, agreed to meet her. They sat in a quiet diner on the edge of town. Felix looked older, thinner, and very scared. "They were never supposed to grow up," he said in a low voice. "The hybrids. That wasn't part of the plan." Emily asked him what he meant. "Project Echo wasn't about helping gifted kids," he continued. "It was about creating them. The government made a deal, back in the 70s, with something not from this world. In exchange for access to human DNA, they got technology, advancements that pushed us decades ahead." Emily stared at him, stunned. "But something changed," Felix said. "The children weren't just experiments. They were scouts. Seeds planted in our society. And now they're activating." Emily asked what he meant by activating, but Felix stood up, shaking. "They're watching me. They know I've told you. That was the last time she saw him alive. A week later, Felix Grant was found dead in his apartment. The official cause, suicide. But Emily wasn't convinced. She went back to Greystone, under a fake identity. What she found was terrifying. The school had been shut down. The building fenced off. Locals said it was because of radiation concerns, but no official reports were ever released. Emily dug deeper and discovered a hidden sublevel beneath the school. With help from a contact in the Department of Energy, she found old blueprints showing a vast underground lab, matching the footage from the VHS tape years earlier. She broke in at night, expecting to find dust and decay. Instead, she found a working facility. Clean. Maintained. And worse, occupied. In the lowest chamber, she saw them, not children anymore, but adults. Pale-skinned, black-eyed, and silent. They stood motionless in glass pods. A control panel nearby listed their vital stats. They weren't asleep, they were waiting. Suddenly, alarms went off. Emily ran, barely escaping through a service tunnel. She never went back. Now, in 2025, she lives under a new name in rural Canada. But sometimes, when she turns on her shortwave radio, she hears a strange clicking signal. It always ends the same way, a child's voice whispering her real name. Emily believes the hybrids are still out there. Many have likely blended into society. Some hold jobs. Some run companies. A few might even be in government. They look human. They sound human. But they're not. They never were. The real question isn't what Project Echo was. The real question is, what happens when they all wake up? And maybe, they already have.